Keek on the mic, keek on the mic, keek on the mic, keek on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. In Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you also follow me on all my social media platforms to stay connected with all Keek on the Mic news. So, Bears fans, the question of today's video is, what will the Chicago Bears do in the first round of the upcoming 2023 NFL draft? The Bears, in my opinion, can go in so many different directions, and we have talked about all these directions right here on Keek on the Mic. They can stay at number 9 and draft the best player available, if that's Jalen Carter, if that's Jackson Smith-Njigba, if that's another offensive lineman on the board like Paris Johnson Jr., the Bears can just stay put at number 9 and take the best player available. Another option is they can trade down from number 9 overall, collect even more draft capital, and still possibly pick up a day one starter, a plug and play player that can make the Chicago Bears football team a whole lot better. And for weeks now, Ryan Poles has actually teased that idea of actually trading down from number 9 overall, because personally, I feel that Ryan Poles likes the idea of adding more draft capital to his arsenal, while also adding a starting caliber player that can come in and play right away and make his roster a lot better for the Chicago Bears football team. But the big question is about that trading down from number 9 scenario. No one knows who the Chicago Bears would actually target if they did in fact trade down from the number 9 overall pick in the upcoming 2023 NFL draft. But this is when today's episode of Keek on the Mic gets kind of interesting, because according to David Kaplan of ESPN 1000, he's been hearing sources from people close to the team that the Bears are doing extra homework on top offensive line prospect Darnell Wright, the right tackle out of Tennessee. And Bears fans, before I go any further in today's episode of the Keek on the Mic, I just want to remind you guys that anything that you hear from David Kaplan, you kind of have to take with a grain of salt. I'm not sitting here and saying that that he is always wrong, but he's definitely not always right as well. So anything that David Kaplan says at this point is kind of like more likely 50-50 in terms of the Chicago Bears front. I feel like he knows more information than me. I'm not doubting that he has sources, but just try to take everything that he says with a grain of salt. But a huge but, if this is actually true, that the Bears are doing extra homework on Darnell Wright, I definitely like the idea of it. And I could definitely see this being true, because the Bears do have a massive need on the offensive line, especially when you're considering the right tackle position. There's a massive hole at right tackle. And when you look at Darnell Wright, he would definitely fit that mold and fill that hole that the Bears have on the offensive line at right tackle. And when you look at a guy like Darnell Wright, he has arguably been one of the best blockers in the SEC last year, especially when you look at last year. And he is definitely a plug and play starting caliber player that you can get and bring him in right away, and he would have no issues being the starting right tackle for the Chicago Bears. Also, when you look at a guy like Darnell Wright, he also fits the physical profile of what Ryan Poles is looking for when he's looking to add offensive linemen to the Chicago Bears roster. First and foremost, he is big and long. He stands at 6'5", 333 pounds. I know a lot of people are saying that maybe he can drop a couple of pounds, but he also has 33.75-inch arms, so nice arm length as well. He is athletic. At his pro day and at the combine, he ran a 5.01 40-yard dash, which is pretty impressive considering that he is at 333 pounds. Once again, if he can drop a little bit of weight, I definitely think he could take full advantage of playing in the Chicago Bears scheme. And the best part about Darnell Wright's game is that he is a violent blocker, and he has a proven foundation of being a legit pass protector, especially considering that he played in a very competitive SEC where he had to go against some premier pass rushers, which included going against guys like Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama. And the most impressive part about this is that he shut down basically all these guys, including Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama. If you guys want to go check out that tape, I know there's a highlight tape on YouTube and I think it's like 5 minutes straight of Darnell Wright absolutely shutting down potentially a top 3-5 pick this year in Will Anderson Jr., which is really impressive because Will Anderson Jr. Is a really good pass rusher, and I feel like he's going to be a really good player in the NFL for a long time. So overall, that's the big thing I really like about Darnell Wright, that he is battle tested. He fits what Ryan Poles wants as offensive lineman. He's big, right? He's strong, he's athletic. He can play both left or right tackle, but obviously the Bears wouldn't have to move him around. They can fit him in at right tackle. He'd be a plug and play starter for the Chicago Bears right away. So I think that will intrigue Ryan Poles a lot. So it makes sense that the Chicago Bears are doing extra homework. I know there's a lot of analysts that are saying that Darnell Wright is the best right tackle in this draft, which would be massive for the Chicago Bears, because the thing about Darnell Wright is that he's not currently slated to be a top 10 pick. A lot of people have him going in the middle of the first round. So that kind of ignites more rumors about the Bears possibly trading down for number 9, maybe going to like number 15, 16, right? Maybe even number 17, or maybe even to the 20 range, collecting more draft capital for not only this year, but for next year, and still getting a stud right tackle on Darnell Wright. So obviously I'm all on board for this. Adding a guy like Darnell Wright, you put him that right tackle, I feel like he would complete that offensive line, and he would give this offensive line a nice young athletic offensive line, something that we haven't seen in years from the Chicago Bears. I think that Justin Fields, when you look at it, would be in good hands, because he would be protected by Braxton Jones at the left side. He would be protected on the right side by Darnell Wright. Obviously, when you look at the interior, you have Tevin Jenkins, Nate Davis. Still need to figure out that center position, but then you're starting to look at this offensive line as a whole, and it's starting to get somewhere, right? So I think that's exciting, not only for Justin Fields, but for the Chicago Bears offense, because we haven't had a consistently good offensive line for a long time. But I have the ultimate trust in Ryan Poles, so it does not shock me whatsoever that the Bears are doing extra homework, not only on guys like Darnell Wright. I'm pretty sure he did extra homework on guys like DeJuan Jones, right tackle from Ohio State, on guys like Paris Johnson Jr., left tackle, right tackle from Ohio State, right? So he's going to do his due diligence to make sure that he's bringing in the right players, not only for the offensive line, not only for the defensive line, but for the Chicago Bears team and franchise as a whole. So I'm excited to see what the Chicago Bears do. It's starting to look like the Chicago Bears are going to trade down from number 9 overall and try to add like a quality player like a Darnell Wright, which I would be totally okay with. But at the same time, I would also be okay with them sticking at number 9 and taking a guy like Paris Johnson Jr. So like I said, I have the ultimate trust in Ryan Poles and the decision that he's going to make the Chicago Bears franchise a whole lot better. But before I let you guys go, I just wanted to come on here and give you guys this pretty big update. I'm considering that we do have a massive need at the right tackle spot on this offensive line. So we're going to see what Ryan Poles ends up doing. But before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this. Would you guys like the Chicago Bears to trade down from number 9 overall and select Darnell Wright, right tackle out of Tennessee? Let me know down below in the comment section. Before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic.